Hello, my punky youngkins. Today on Crystal Corner, we are going to be talking about not a crystal, not a stone, but it is grouped with crystals and stones in every metaphysical shop that you go to. It inspired one of the most famous movies of all time. It brought countries together in union, and it is considered the lost eighth wonder of the world. So, I thought we should talk about it. We are going to be talking about amber. Let's get started. This is amber. So, you can see how it looks dark, but when you pull out your trusty flashlight, things can get serious. You can look inside and see all types of different movement, really. You can see the movement of the resin, and you can see all different types of things that get stuck inside of this. So, I get really excited. Okay, here we go. Amber is created in ancient trees from millions of years ago, prehistoric, like up to 100 million years ago. So these giant trees tended to be mostly around the Baltic Sea. They are, amber is found in a handful of places around the world, but the majority of it is around the Baltic Sea, about 80 to 90% of it. So what happens is in these trees, you have two different kinds of systems, whereas in our body, we have blood that pumps the nutrients through our body. And when we get a wound, the blood comes out, scabs over, and protects us, heals beneath, and then falls off. These trees are similar with one distinct difference. Their blood system is sap. So a lot of people get that part confused. They think sap is what amber is from. Sap is the blood system giving nutrients throughout the tree. Resin is a completely different system. So whenever the tree is wounded in any way, whether an animal scratches it, lightning hits it, a branch breaks off, it creates its own scab, covering that area with resin. Now, this falls to the ground over time. Once it hits the earth and natural time passes with shifting cracks and tsunamis and whatever the case may be, over millions of years, as the earth parts, chunks of this resin falls into the earth. Once it gets deep enough into the earth where it's warm and covered with the correct amount of pressure, the resin then fossilizes. But again, this takes millions of years. I think it's absolutely insane that these are not more expensive. Just like crystals, they take so long to create, yet you can buy them. Hollywood, not right now, but you can buy them for like $3. It just, the math doesn't math for me. These should be so much more expensive, in my opinion, with how much time goes into creating them. So, I mean, if you think about it, a box of macaroni is cheaper, or is the same price as a crystal that takes millions of years to form. I think we went wrong in the world, but that's fine. Moving on. So the resin falls into the earth, and then it starts to fossilize. After the correct amount of time, the correct amount of pressure, and the correct temperature, it turns into amber, which is fossilized resin. When the earth begins to shake again, mountains form, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, whatever natural disasters occur, they start to work their way up to the top. Now, because 80 to 90% of amber is found around the Baltic Sea, what happens is as it works its way up, with so much of it being beneath the Baltic Sea as well, it breaks the earth apart and the resin is light. Amber is incredibly light. It is a 2 to a 2.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. Your nail is about a 2.5, meaning you can scratch amber easy peasy. So jewelers are super cautious when they deal with amber. Hollywood, stop it. So anyway, when the amber comes up and breaks through the ground, it floats to the top. She has to have her 2 cents. It floats to the top. So after storms, that is when the amber washes up on shore. So around the Baltic Sea, to this day, when there is a storm, people go out and walk the beaches afterwards looking for the Baltic Sea amber that has washed upon the shore. Okay, metaphysical properties of amber. It is considered part of the sun. Hold on, I've got to take care of the bird. Hold on. That's either going to make it worse or better. We shall soon find out. Back to the show. All right, so the metaphysical properties, because it is created during the outside world and not in the earth like crystals are formed, it absorbs that sun energy and that moon energy. So it does take on both qualities, but it is most compared to sun energy. It just gives this joy, uplifting, self-love, confident, creative emotion to the people supposedly that wear it. So who does that sound like? It sounds like a Leo. And for that reason, it mostly resonates with Leo the most. It is like legit a Leo stone, but it also can help transform negative energies in you into positive ones. What resonates with transformation? Scorpio. There's also grounding energy with it, so it also can resonate with Taurus. And a really cool fun fact about it, I will tell you at the very end of the show, so stay tuned, why it will resonate with one other zodiac sign. Now, depending on where you study, there are a couple other signs that it can resonate with, but for the most part, these are the most common. Now, it also encourages resilience to things that are, coming at you. You're just able to handle things better. And it was weird story. It was used, I do not recommend this. When I heard this, I was like, are you kidding me? Choking hazard 101. This had to be one of the main things taught in choking hazard class. And if it is not, it needs to be there. Babies. They gave amber teething rings to babies because apparently it produces something that emits into the gums while the babies chew on it, calming the gums for the pain of the teeth coming through. I thought, interesting. So we're giving a baby a teething ring that could totally, is only a 2 to a 2.5 on the Mohs hardness scale, could break off into their mouth and they could choke. And it was also used for protection for babies and children from illness. Is it just me? Is that weird? We're going to use this for protection for you. But it could also totally choke you to death. I don't know. I don't love that idea. Let's not do it. So, okay, moving on. Now it's my favorite time. Story time. We're going to be talking about the Amber Room. If you have never heard about this, I never heard about this, and yet it's the 8th world wonder. Never had a clue. So the Amber Room started in the 1700s. King Frederick I of Prussia was the first king in that area. He was against a whole bunch of different royalty that were one-upping one another. Well, I have a marble room. Well, I have this, I have that. And he was like, well, I'll one-up everybody, and I am going to make an amber room. So in the early 1700s, he had so much amber. Now, amber comes in browns and golds and oranges, very rich, vibrant colors, like you would see these intense shades like of the sun. He had this room created where the walls and the picture frames and everything was made of amber. When you have to picture this, they didn't have electricity back then. So when you walk into the room, there are fireplaces reflecting that golden light on all the golden orange amber throughout the space. There is windows that are allowing the sun to come in and reflect on everything, and there were candles everywhere to continue to make the walls look alive. People said it was like walking into the sun when you entered that room. Now, yes, there would be certain events or meetings taking place there, but this is not a place where they had balls or anything like that. The room itself was the event. You were invited there to enjoy the space alone. It was that powerful. So, unfortunately, when King Frederick I died, he never got to see the full room completed. His son, King Frederick William I, then took over. He was not as passionate about the room as his father was. The room did get finished, but because he was more military minded, he thought, I would rather keep an alliance with Tsar Peter of Russia and also show that that is our friendship connection. It brings us together in union. So he said, hey, you want the room? Let's stay together. We'll help each other out. And because you're my buddy, take it. So he gifted his father's dream to Tsar Peter. Okay. So he's like, sure, I'll take it. Shipped it up, brought it home. When he brought it home, it was used there and started to become famous, of course, even more so. And then he died. His daughter, Empress Elizabeth, ordered the amber room to be transferred to Catherine Palace. Now, when it moved there and they unboxed everything, they thought, well, shit, your room's too big. So, well, then what do? Let's get more amber. So they got more amber. They recreated the room with all the parts of the previous amber room and added more amber to it, making it a grand, enormous amber space. And that's where it became the most famous as the 8th World Wonder. World War II began and Germany started to approach Russia. Now, when this happened, everyone freaked out about the amber room. So they went in and they were trying to dismantle it. They wanted to box it up and hide it somewhere so that nothing happened to it. But as they started to peel it off the walls, because amber is, again, a 2 to a 2.5, it is so soft. And after all those years, you have to understand it's been around daylight, it's been around the fire and the candles and just air and oxidation itself. It started to become incredibly fragile and started to chip everywhere. And they didn't want to ruin the space. So they thought, we'll wallpaper it. So they just put wallpaper over everything because nobody knows where the 8th wonder of the world is in that specific castle, in that specific spot. Nobody knows, even though they're literally known for it. Everyone knew. So when they got there, it took Germany 36 hours only to disassemble the entire space. Took everything down, boxed it up, and brought it to Königsberg. They're like, thanks, bye. Got to Königsberg, created the room there. It was wonderful until everyone started to turn on Germany. And when that happened, shit hit the fan. They boxed everything up to try to preserve and save it, and it disappeared, never to be seen again. There are a couple different theories about what happened to it, and to this day, treasure hunters are still looking for it. A, it got blown up, and being that it's so soft, that's very possible. But B, there were rumors that it was boxed up and put on a ship and sent through the Baltic Sea and sunk. How ironic would it be if the exact sea that it came from is where it returned full circle to? I just find that ironic, darling. Return to where it came from. Now, this one is a scientific fact, and I think this story was really, really interesting. And I wanted you guys to know about it. The word electricity stems all the way back to amber. Amber is electricity. That's where the word literally comes from. The Greeks were, I'm assuming they were cleaning it. Maybe they were like, everybody let's, and maybe that's their accent. Everybody let's polish the amber. So they get their amber and they have a piece of wool and they rub it and they're polishing it because they want it to shine. I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact. I'm just saying this makes the most sense. And after about 20 to 30 seconds, they noticed that all of a sudden things started to go toward the amber, little pieces of feathers or paper or straws. It was magic. The amber was drawing all of these lightweight objects to it because it became negatively charged. So for that reason, the Greeks called it electron. They thought it was magic back then. If you think about it, electricity was not invented. So it was spectacular to them. They thought that that amber could create magic, that it had mystical powers to it. P.S. It resonates with Aquarius because of the electricity component to it. Aquarius rules the electromagnetic system within the body. Therefore, Aquarius is also a sign that amber connects to. Amber holds lost worlds inside of it. So when it comes out of the tree as resin, it holds air bubbles, feathers, insects, lizards, everything from that world that it could have grabbed onto, and encapsulates it. It holds answers to a world that existed up to 100 million years ago. Scientists use that to get more answers to what was here back in that time. One of the most famous movies of all time was created from amber. If you think of Jurassic Park and you remember the part where they're talking about the amber with the mosquito in it on the cane, that is exactly how the entire movie was dreamt up and created. I hope you enjoyed today's episode about amber. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining me on Crystal Corner with Cosmic Coffee. Please be sure to subscribe if you want more content like this. Hit a thumbs up for me, and I will see you on the next episode.